Hello and a very warm welcome to the brand new edition of Parliament This Week, your weekly roundup of all important developments in Parliament. I'm Kriti Mishra, and now let's begin the show. Vice President of India and Chairman of Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu has advised other nations, including those in the neighbourhood, to refrain from commenting on India's internal matters and asserted that the abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir was taken in the larger interest to protect the unity, integrity, safety and sovereignty of the country. Delivering the first Sushma Swaraj Memorial Lecture organised by the Punjab University on the first death anniversary of the former External Affairs Minister, Chairman Naidu pointed out that India was a parliamentary democracy and the decision to abrogate Article 370 was taken after detailed discussion in Parliament and with the support of the majority of members. Here's a detailed report.
Abrogation of Article 370 is totally an internal matter of India. The other countries, they have no business to interfere or make comment on our internal happenings or internal matters. Every country is expected to take care of their own countrymen, safeguard their own interest, and focus attention on their internal problems rather than unnecessarily interfering or commenting on the internal affairs of any country. I advise one and all, not only the neighbor who made this comment, one and all, please do not interfere in others' internal affairs. Every country is independent. Particularly, we are a democratic country, we are a parliamentary democracy. We have such a track record that we discuss issues threadbare, understand pros and cons, and then we take decisions in the larger interest of the country. This is an issue which concerns our country's unity and integrity, safety and sovereignty. So I advise others, please do not interfere in the internal affairs of other countries.
Paying glowing tributes to former Union Minister Sushma Swaraj, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu called her an epitome of Indian culture. Naidu said she was a passionate nationalist and always expressed her views in a forthright manner. Naidu urged young politicians to look up to her as a role model and emulate her qualities.
Sushma ji was an able administrator, left an indelible imprint on every position held by her. For instance, the film sector's long pending request for granting industry sector was conceded during her tenure as Information Broadcasting Minister. आज जब हम उनकी श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित कर रहा है, मैं युवा राजनीतिक कार्यकर्ताओं से आग्रह करता हूं कि वे सुषमा जी को अपना आदर्श माने, उनका गुण, उनकी कार्यशैली का अनुकरण करें.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid tributes to Swaraj. In a tweet, he said, Swaraj served India selflessly and was an articulate voice for India on the world stage. Remembering her predecessor, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar shared a collage of pictures and said she will always remain an inspiration. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad and Harsimrat Kaur also paid tributes to the former minister. Swaraj's husband Swaraj Kaushal and daughter Bansuri wrote messages for her on Twitter.
And moving on now, Chairman of Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu has expressed concern over the mounting pendency of cases from the Supreme Court to the lower courts and urged the government and the judiciary to ensure faster justice by addressing the issue. Addressing through virtual mode the Platinum Jubilee meet of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University on the occasion of its 76th Foundation Day, he underscored the need to make delivery of justice speedier and affordable. Highlighting the need to avoid ambiguity while drafting laws, Vice President and Chairman of Rajya Sabha said, laws should be simple and uncomplicated. The focus should not only be on the letter but also on the spirit and the intent behind our laws. He said, and I quote, the intent and the purpose of the law must be very clear. Unquote. Take a look at this report.
He was addressing the virtual Platinum Jubilee meet of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University on the occasion of its 76th Foundation Day. Expressing concern over the growing pendency of court cases from Supreme Court to lower courts, Naidu underscored the need to make delivery of justice speedier and affordable. He asked the law students to use their legal knowledge to empower the marginalized sections. Naidu also told them to nurture professionalism and ethical conduct when it comes to discharging their duties.
Lawyers are capable of bringing about great social transformation. As society evolves, so must our laws also. We must constantly introspect and scrutinize our laws from the prism of justice, fairness, equity, compassion, and humanity. We must continually reform, update our laws, rules, and regulations. Laws which do not find a place in the progressive society must be repealed without prejudice and without delay, while modifying others to suit the times. In the same spirit, there must be an unrelenting quest to improve our justice system. We must continually improve our legal infrastructure and access to justice, especially for the common man. A vast majority of laws and regulations are still ineligible to the ordinary citizen.
The Vice President also highlighted the need to avoid ambiguity while drafting law. He said law should be simple and uncomplicated. Observing that lawyers are capable of bringing about great social transformation, the Vice President called for continuous introspection, scrutiny, and reform of laws.
As a society, the nation governed by the rule of law, we must focus not only on the letter but also on the spirit of the intent behind our laws. There should not be any room for ambiguity while drafting laws. They should be simple, clear, uncomplicated. Any ambiguity can lead to the possibility of misinterpretation and misuse that should be totally avoided.
And in some other news, Minister for Jal Shakti, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, called on Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and presented a copy of the report on the measures taken by his ministry to achieve water security. He also briefed Vice President on the progress of various initiatives of the ministry, especially related to piped water supply. The minister assured the Vice President that the centre was supporting the state governments to take up functional tap connections in the villages across the length and breadth of the country. The Ministry of Jal Shakti is also providing 90% funds to Himalayan and northeastern states and 50% funds to other states to take up rural drinking water supply projects. Apart from regular budgetary allocation, the ministry plans to utilize 15th Finance Commission grants to rural bodies for providing drinking water to the rural households. When Vice President Naidu inquired with the minister about providing piped drinking water to all the households in Udyagiri Assembly constituency in Nellore district of Andhra Pradesh, the minister assured that the central government, in accordance with the policy, will be willing to provide the necessary funds once state government forwards proposals related to the same. And moving on now, Vice President of India, M. Venkaiah Naidu, has highlighted the need to constantly review our food, agriculture and trade policies according to the times. He also called for reorienting agricultural priorities towards more nutrition-sensitive food. Inaugurating the virtual consultation Science for Resilient Food, Nutrition and Livelihoods organized by the MS Swaminathan Foundation, Vice President drew the attention towards impacts associated with poor diet and quality and said that both undernutrition and obesity are significant risk factors for non-communicable diseases.
The Vice President was addressing the virtual consultation Science for Resilient Food, Nutrition and Livelihoods organized by the MS Swaminathan Foundation or MSSRF. He cautioned that the prevailing pandemic may aggravate hunger and undernourishment because of the loss of livelihoods and the global economic slowdown. Observing that India had made significant strides in reducing hunger, undernourishment and infant mortality, Naidu expressed satisfaction that the government has accorded the highest priority to combating health and nutrition problems in the country.
India has made significant strides in reducing hunger, undernourishment, infant mortality and stunting and wasting among children in the recent years. The Government of India has accorded highest priority to combating health and nutrition problems in the country. Some of the recent initiatives underway include the launch of Pradhana Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, which has benefited more than 98.16 lakh of women.
Praising Professor M.S. Swaminathan as a visionary scientist and the architect of India's Green Revolution, the Vice President expressed happiness that MSSRF aims to accelerate the use of modern science and technology for agricultural and rural development.
India is a treasure trove of traditional wisdom when it comes to agriculture. Instead of rejecting this wisdom as an archaic, we must make every attempt to integrate the best of these techniques into agriculture along with the modern technology. The government has set a target. The Prime Minister is very keen of doubling the farmers' income by the year 2022. It has recently announced a number of measures that will help us achieve these ambitious goals.
And here are the details about the upcoming Rajya Sabha polls.
One seat each in Uttar Pradesh and Kerala fell vacant after the death of members Beni Prasad Verma and MP Virendra Kumar. August 13th is the last date to file nominations. Scrutiny will take place on August 14th. August 17th is the last date for withdrawal of candidature. Voting will be on August 24th and the counting of votes will be done on the same evening. Nominations have also begun for bypoll for one seat in the Andhra Pradesh Legislative Council. The seat fell vacant when ruling YSR Congress member Mopi Devi Venkata Ramana Rao resigned on July 1st. Voting and declaration of result are on the same day.
And here are all the developments regarding the parliamentary standing committees.
The meeting focused on plans to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. During the discussion, Health and Family Welfare Secretary Rajesh Bhushan and a Joint Secretary made a presentation in which they informed the committee about the preparations and future plans to deal with the pandemic. The committee, headed by Samajwadi Party MP Ram Gopal Yadav, is conducting a detailed investigation on the outbreak of coronavirus in the country and related contingency plans. Recently, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu encouraged the newly elected members to play an important role in the meetings of the committees. 13 members were present in the meeting, including newly elected MP Indubala Goswami.
Naidu nominated TMC's Arpita Ghosh in place of Derek O'Brien, who resigned from the Standing Committee on Human Resource Development. CPIM's Bikas Ranjan replaced Ila Ramdas, who resigned from the Standing Committee on Finance on 30th of July 2020. Their nomination became effective from 5th of August. Meanwhile, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Social Justice and Empowerment met on Thursday. In a 2-hour-long meeting, the committee mainly focused on the details of the Maintenance and Welfare Amendment Bill of Parents and Senior Citizens. The Social Justice and Empowerment Committee is headed by BJP MP Rama Devi. This bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha on 11th of December 2019. It was sent to the committee on 23rd of December 2019 on the demand of MPs for its detailed investigation. But due to the coronavirus pandemic, the committee could not give its report on time. On the request of the committee, the Lok Sabha Speaker has given time till 12th of September to submit the report. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice also met to discuss the views of the Bar Council of India and other representatives on the issue of virtual courts in India. This committee is headed by Bhupendra Yadav. In this 14th meeting of the committee, new members Dipender Singh and Rajendra Gehlot were also present. Environment Ministry Secretary R.P. Gupta made a presentation on the Environmental Impact Assessment Notification 2020 format. The committee is headed by Congress MP Jairam Ramesh. 14 MPs were present at the meeting, including new member Maharaja Ali Shemba Sana Juaba. Meanwhile, the Standing Committee of Parliament on Labour also held its third meeting. The meeting focused on social security for migrant labourers and organised and unorganised workers. The committee is headed by BJD MP Bhartruhari Mahatab. 13 MPs were present at the meeting, including new nominated members Neeraj Dangi, Dushyant Gautam and Vivek Thakur.
And that's all I have for you in this edition of Parliament This Week. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Rajya Sabha Television.